Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. If you're following South African politics and have been wondering where your tax money is going, today's video will be especially interesting. We're diving into the recent comments made by Julius Malema at a Workers' Day rally in Rustenburg, where he called for the elimination of deputy ministers across the South African government. And it's not just an empty political jab. Malema's critique comes with some serious implications for the national budget and the ongoing struggle to balance the country's finances. In a fiery speech delivered at Zinnieville Sports Ground, Malema launched a scathing attack on the current government, especially the number of deputy ministers holding office. According to him, these positions are unnecessary and serve no real purpose, except to drain public funds. He argued that by cutting these positions, the government could free up billions of rands, money that could be better used elsewhere to address South Africa's pressing needs, such as healthcare, education, and social development. Malema's stance on this issue isn't new. He's been vocal about government inefficiency and corruption for years, but this latest push to axe deputy ministers is particularly timely, considering the state of South Africa's economy. With unemployment at record levels, a growing cost of living, and a national debt spiraling out of control, Malema is questioning the legitimacy of an executive that he says is bloated, expensive, and ineffective. Let's take a closer look at his argument. Malema pointed out that South Africa currently has 43 deputy ministers, each with their own team of assistants, cars, offices, and residences in Pretoria and Cape Town. For what? According to Malema, these officials contribute very little to the day-to-day functioning of the country. He called them useless and argued that they represent a drain on resources, especially when the country is facing serious fiscal challenges. He even went as far as to suggest that if you ask the average person who the Deputy Minister of Fisheries is, they probably wouldn't know. And that's a problem. These positions, he said, have little visibility and are often a waste of taxpayer money. Malema wasn't just pointing fingers, he also offered some solutions. One of his suggestions was merging various government departments to streamline operations and cut down on unnecessary spending. For example, he proposed combining the Department of Basic Education and the Department of Higher Education into a single, more efficient ministry that covers education from grade R to university level. He also suggested merging the Department of Social Development and the Department of Health to eliminate redundant bureaucratic structures. This, he argued, would help the government operate more effectively and reduce costs. Of course, this is a controversial stance. Supporters of the current government argue that the size of the executive is necessary to maintain political stability, especially in a coalition government like the one led by the African National Congress, ANC. In fact, President Cyril Ramaphosa has defended his large cabinet, which includes a mix of ministers from various parties, including the ANC, the Democratic Alliance, DA, the Inkatha Freedom Party, IFP, and others. According to Ramaphosa, the broad representation in his cabinet helps ensure that different political groups have a voice in governance, which is crucial for maintaining unity in a country as diverse as South Africa. But Malema is having none of it. He believes that the money spent on these deputy ministers could be better used to support South Africa's most vulnerable citizens. And he's not alone in his criticism. The Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, the party led by Malema, has been vocal in opposing the government's fiscal policies, particularly the controversial VAT increase proposed in the 2025 national budget. In case you missed it, the VAT hike has been a hot topic in South Africa. Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's proposal to raise VAT by 0.5%, from 15% to 15.5%, was met with backlash from multiple political parties, including the EFF and DA. They argued that the increase would hurt poor and working-class South Africans, many of whom are already struggling with the high cost of living. The EFF, in particular, has been critical of the ANC-led government's decision to increase VAT, accusing it of punishing the most vulnerable members of society while failing to address the country's systemic issues, such as corruption and mismanagement. This opposition to the VAT hike was not just limited to political rhetoric. The DA and the EFF took the matter to court, and in a rare win for opposition parties, the Western Cape High Court ruled in their favor. The court overturned the VAT hike, declaring that the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces had acted unconstitutionally in approving the new tax rate. The court also ordered Finance Minister Godongwana to cover half of the DA's legal costs, while the Speaker of Parliament and the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces were ordered to cover the rest. This legal victory sent a strong message to the government that the public, and the opposition, are serious about holding those in power accountable. In response to the court's ruling, Godongwana announced that the government would be revising the budget, and a new fiscal framework would be presented on May 21. This announcement came after a tense period of legal and political battles, but it also highlighted the challenges the government faces in implementing policies that are both effective and politically viable. In his statement, Godongwana acknowledged that the VAT increase had sparked intense debate, but he also argued that such discussions are essential for a healthy democracy. For now, the debate continues over how South Africa can balance the need for fiscal discipline with the demands of a struggling population. Malema's call for the elimination of deputy ministers adds a new layer to this ongoing conversation, raising important questions about government efficiency, the cost of political positions, and the role of the state in managing the economy. The central question remains, will the South African government take action to address these issues, or will it continue to perpetuate a system that many feel is wasteful and ineffective? As the country awaits the revised budget and potential reforms, the pressure is mounting on the ANC-led coalition to deliver a more balanced and sustainable fiscal framework. In the coming weeks, all eyes will be on how the government responds to these challenges. Will Malema's call for cuts to the cabinet be heeded? Will there be any serious attempts to overhaul the way government operates, or will political infighting continue to stymie progress? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with Malema's call to eliminate deputy ministers, or do you think these positions serve a necessary purpose? Should the government prioritize cuts at the top, or is it time to look elsewhere for savings? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into South Africa's political landscape. We'll keep you updated on all the latest developments. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time.